So since you clicked on this video, you most likely have just been admitted to study in Finland. In this video, we're gonna go through 7 things that you need to start working on right away after being admitted. So what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Oliver, and on this channel we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing. So you have just been admitted to study in Finland. That's awesome. First of all, congratulations. I'm sure you're gonna have a great time here. To make the start of your studies just a bit smoother, there are a bunch of stuff that you need to start working on right away. So here is the 7 things you need to do right after being admitted. Alright, so let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. So number 1 is accept your admission offer in time. There is a risk of you losing your right to study if you do not do this. Also take into account that there is always something that could happen that is out of your control. You could get sick, your internet might not work, or your computer might break down. And there are ways to go around this if this happens when you're trying to accept your admission offer, but just to avoid stress and panic, do it in time. So number 2 is to return your signed and filled scholarship documents or pay your tuition fee if you're liable. So if you are a non-European Union or non-European Economic Area citizen and you did not receive a scholarship covering your tuition fee, do make sure to pay your tuition fee in time. You cannot enroll to the university or get access to any of the resources or information from the university before you have done this. If you did receive a full or partial scholarship, do remember to return the signed and filled documents according to the instructions given you in the admission letter. So number 3 is to enroll yourself as an attending student at your university. So all of the students have to enroll themselves either as attending or non-attending student for each academic year. So be warned that you cannot use any of your university's services, get a student number, or enroll to any of the courses before you have done this. Also, do note that failing to enroll by the beginning of the semester will end up you losing your right to study. So I would suggest that you do this as soon as possible, just to cross one more thing off your list. So number 4 is to apply for a residence permit or register your residency here in Finland. All non-European Union or European Economic Area citizens have to apply for a residence permit from the Finnish embassy at your home country. By the way, also for future reference, when I'm talking about European Union citizens, I'm also referring to European Economic Area citizens. It's just easier to say just European Union. Anyways, I will have a separate video about the residence permit application process coming up next week or 2 weeks from now. But there are 2 things that you need to know right away. So when you go to the Finnish embassy in your home country, you need to ask to be registered in the Finnish population information system so that you will get your Finnish personal identity code with your residence permit. This code is extremely important because that helps you identify yourself, for example, in banks, hospitals, and other public services. Second thing to know is that you should definitely start this process really early. It's a process that could take quite a lot of time, and it is most likely totally out of your control. So there's no point of panicking about something that you really cannot control. So just do this again on time. So for those of you guys who are European Union or European Economic Area citizens, you do not have to apply for a residence permit. Instead, you have to apply for registration for EU citizens' right of residence from the Finnish immigration services. This is also where you would get your Finnish personal identity code. So in addition to those previous steps, there is something that all of you guys have to do regardless of your citizenship. So all non-Finnish citizens who are staying in the country for more than 1 year need to register their residency here at the local register office, or maistraatti in Finnish. This will be done in the local municipality that you will live in. So this will happen after you have arrived to Finland. By the way, before I jump into the next point, this building behind me here that I'm filming next to is actually the new campus building for the School of Business as well as the School of Arts at Aalto University. I will have separate videos talking about both of these buildings. They're actually separate. So one is here and one starts actually right here behind me. Anyways, I will have separate videos about these for those of you who are interested in Aalto University. But actually the wind is getting really super cold, so I need to get my jacket on before I freeze to death. much better. Alright, so number 5 is apply for student accommodation. So I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to start applying for student accommodation right away. So I previously already made separate videos about different student housing options as well as the cost of student housing. I'll have the links in the description box down below, so go check them out after this video. Anyways, you need to start applying for student apartments right away because they usually have really long queues and there's only a limited amount of apartments available for new students. So this is just a friendly warning, but I promise you that if you leave this to the last minute, even to the last month, you will definitely be left out without a student apartment. Or if you get one, you will get it really far away from your campus, and that's not optimal. Also, do remember that if you have to apply for an apartment in the private market, you might end up paying almost double the price that you would pay if you actually applied and got a student apartment. Alright, so tip number 6 is to buy your plane tickets early. So Finland is not a cheap place to live in, and neither is it a cheap place to fly into. So this should be obvious, but the earlier you buy your plane tickets, the cheaper you will get them. Also, as a side note, if you're coming to Finland to study for the autumn term, I highly recommend flying into the country a few weeks before and, travel around the country before you actually start your semester. If you're feeling really adventurous, actually even a better recommendation is not to come straight to Finland, but to actually fly to one of the larger cities in Central Europe and travel a few weeks around Europe before coming to Finland. Traveling inside of Europe by train and ferry is actually really cheap, and especially for those of you who are coming to Finland from far away and have never been to Europe before, this is a great excuse to travel and go around Europe just before you start your studies. So overall, Finland is a great country to be a student. One of the great benefits in here is actually that students get a huge amount of different benefits that you would not get in many other countries. Just some of these benefits include student-priced meals, student health services, discounts to public services, as well as international travel. The thing is that in order to use all of these benefits, you actually need a student card. So my last and 7th tip is to apply for a student card as early as possible. I will do a separate video about the application process in the coming weeks, but if you want to start the application process already, I will have all the necessary links in the description box down below. So that's it. That's my 7-point list of things that you should start working on right away after being admitted. Full disclosure, this list is not in any ways extensive, and there are other things that you have to start working on after being admitted. But I think these are a good starting point for you to actually have a smooth start for your studies. Cool, so that's it for this video. As usual, if you have anything to ask about this or any other topic considering studying or early career development in Finland, do put them down in the comment section down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.